What about you, love? Welcome to Our Higher Mind. I'm Anita, and this is my channel. So tonight is going to be story time, or today, or this morning, whenever you're seeing this video, is going to be story time. So let me tell you a story about how I ended up 2 days in jail, $10,000 bond, and extradition back to Key West. So a year ago, we went to the mechanic. Now keep in mind, I'm now living up here in the Panhandle, so I am 16 hours away. It still takes 2 days to get to the Keys. It's a long drive. But so we take our truck to get our tire fixed, the passenger side truck, the tire on the passenger side. And I see the mechanic. It's raining really heavy, but I see him go around to the driver's side and jack it up. I wave him over. I said, no, not the driver's side, just the passenger tire. We're good. So it's raining heavy. I don't see what's going on. We pay, we leave. We go home that night. I said, boy, the truck kind of sounds funny, but it is what it is. The next morning, we go to work, and on our way home, we turn the corner onto the highway, and it is a horrible sound. And I'm thinking, shoot, the truck has finally crapped out on us. But as we turn the corner to go down the highway and go over the bridge, over the river, our driver's tire takes off in front of the truck. And I panic and go, oh my God, our tire is racing us. I'm winning. At that point, I'm trying to open the passenger door to get out as the truck slams down. And I see my husband slam down into that hole. I'm trying to get out. We screech the truck to a stop, sparks flying. Now, keep in mind, this is our farm truck, and I made the decision to put a trailer license plate on there, a 1950s license plate that was orange, brown, and white. So it stood out like a sore thumb. But I don't go anywhere. I go home, work, that's it, in that truck. So I was hoping we'd get the truck towed before the cops came, but no, some wang dang doodle called the cops. Cops arrive. I see him bend down for the license plate to read it and call it in. And in my head, I said, nope, don't you dare call that license plate in. We're not doing that. And he stops, looks at me, looks at the license plate, and just stands up. And I said, good man, we're good. I'm thinking everything's good. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going home. We're going to get the truck towed home. We're good. And the police officer takes my license, and he runs it, and he comes back and says, I got to take you to jail. And I'm like, for what? And he says, for a health and safety violation. What? I'm still stunned. I don't know what it is, but I'm thinking, no, this is going to be something stupid. I'll be in and out, and I'll be out in the morning. It'll be easy. And gets me in the car. I call my boss. I tell him I'm going to jail. Of course, he's not American. What do you mean you're going to jail? I'm going to jail. Now? No, in a couple of hours. Of course, right now. Will you make it to work? No. Anyway, I get in the cop car. I'm happy as a clown because I'm thinking this is easy breezy. I'm getting out tomorrow. It's easy. I've never been to jail. I've never been in trouble. I've never been through this whole procedure. Get to the jail. 2 hours they spend trying to figure out what to put in the computer because up here they're not used to any boating violations and most of it's other things. They all discuss amongst themselves for 2 hours. I'm bored. But I'm thinking, I'm getting out in the morning. Get me checked in. First thing in the morning, I get my phone call. I called 3 different people. Nobody's answering the phone at 6 in the morning. No chance. Go in front of the judge, and he says, I'm going to uphold the Key West judge's decision. I'm going to keep the $10,000 bond. And you're also getting extradited to Key West. That's the first time I hear that. And I'm like, what? What? Why? What? Take me back to the pod, and the night before when I went in, I was Billy Badass. Some girl comes out and tells me, you're going to have to sleep over there. I'm like, no, I'm not sleeping over there. Well, the guard, if he comes in and asks, I'll tell him. And I'm telling her, no, if the guard comes in to the pod and wants to talk about me, he'll talk to me about me, not you. I did not realize there is a hierarchy in these pods. I mean, what do I care? I'm getting out the next day. Now I'm back in the pod, crying my eyes out. I grab my bed, I park it in front of the door, and I just cry. So then I decide I'm going to tell the nurse I got chest pain because I need my phone call. Because as a paramedic, or retired paramedic at this point, I do know certain things that you say that will get you medical attention. Chest pain gets me to go to the nurse. And I said, please just give me a phone call. Please, please, I need a phone call. They're taking me back to the pod because they said there's nothing wrong with me. Of course there isn't. The guard says, you just need to go back into that pod, make friends with one of the girls and ask them if you can make a phone call. And I said, ma'am, that's racketeering. You do know your bylaws, don't you? You're asking me to commit a crime in the pod. It'd be best if you just give me a phone call. Now I've just pissed off all the guards. Yeah, way to go, Anita. Put me back in the pod. I just park my ass at the front door and I cry. I refuse to eat their food. I didn't eat. I wouldn't drink their lemonade dishwater. I don't even know what it was. It was like dishwater or toilet water. I refuse. I sit there and I cry. Meanwhile, my husband can't sign on to the app. Well, let's face it, in the Florida jails, there's 5 apps. You need 3 of them to communicate with anybody. One for text messaging, one for email, and one for calls. It is horrible. So my husband can't sign into the account because his driver's license is in the back of my phone with me in jail. So here we are stuck. I can't make calls. I finally get a call to my boss and I tell him, get me out of here, get me the $1,000. And I'm screaming at him. He's like, you cannot talk to me like that. I'm like, yes, you're absolutely right. But I said, if you don't get me out of here, it's going to be 3 months in Key West jail for me. So please get me out. And needless to say, this is my first offense. So everyone else around me is like shocked. Wow. I mean, they keep asking me, was there drugs in the sailboat? And I'm like, no. They're like, that's a very high bond. Yeah, I know. So I start calling bondsmen. No bondsman would take me because I have an active Irish passport and I'm a flight risk. So no bondsman will take me. I am in panic mode. Like, what? Oh my God, I can't believe this. Finally find one nice bondsman that is amazing. And he got me out. He says, I'll take the risk. And I'm like, well, I can assure you I'm not going back to Ireland. A couple of months after that, my husband finally ended up in an accident with that same truck, except that license plate that I spoke of. Got him a night in jail. So now both of us have to check in with the bondsman, and he laughs and calls us Bonnie and Clyde. So the reason I got arrested was because 5 years prior to that, when I was in Key West, me and my husband bought a sailboat. Within 14 days of buying it, the local crackheads gutted it and robbed us of everything, all his tools, all our stuff, everything that was on the sailboat, our solar panels, our television, all our Marlin equipment, everything was robbed. Our hearts were broken. We'd spent so much money. So I said, we're done. Cut our ties, sell it, get it gone. I go into work. I tell the chef. He says, I'll buy it. I said, okay. So I sold it to him. I write a bill of sale, which of course I can't find it now. It's been 5 years. Who keeps that kind of shit? And he lives on it for a little bit and then decides he doesn't want to live on it and just leaves it in the ocean anchored. So, of course, FWC boards, puts a notice, no one responds. It's now an abandoned vessel. Now, it was never sunken, nothing was spilled, it was just anchored. So, now keep in mind that 3 months before I went to jail, an FWC officer arrived at my house and then went to my work to say, hey, there's an abandoned sailboat we need to talk about. Not once did him or the FWC officer in the Keys that I spoke with and told them everything, not one of them said, hey, you got a $10,000 bond you got to deal with. Not one of them. So here I am, surprised and shocked. So needless to say, after several hours of sheer panic and crying and I mean the thoughts of going back to Key West, I mean, you know, you come on vacation, leave on probation, and return on violation. And I did not want to go back to Key West. I mean, that was 3 months out of work. That was traveling in a police van, and then I got to find my way back. So I did finally get out that day. Thankfully, my boss paid the bond. I mean, this poor man had just arrived from India, so he has no idea about American law, and I mean, no idea. And here I am demanding $1,000, but they're really nice people. Thankfully, they did it. And now me and my husband call in every week to the bondsman, and every time I talk to the public defender, now this has been going on for a year because I got all the information, and I was going to go to court, and then the public defender changed hands. I had a new public defender. That took 2 more months. I finally got to the point where the public defender called me 2 months ago and said, listen, the judge wants you to do 6 months in jail. For what? I said, no, I refuse. I said, take it to trial. Let's go to trial. I will make a mockery of this because this is just nonsense. It's like when I finally got back to work in this little town, like people thought I was El Chapo with that kind of bond. And I'm like, does anybody here think of Googling what a health and safety violation is? Or you just make that shit up in your head? But anyway, I'm still fighting it. I still call every week to my bondsman, me and my husband. Hey, family affair. Why not? And hopefully March 30th, it's over. But I don't know. Every month is Russian roulette. I don't know if I'm going to Key West, jail, or we're extending a little more. But that's pretty crazy. But hey, if you like these stories, hit the like button, hit subscribe, share, and hey, comment if you got some crazy stories, because somewhere in everybody's life they have a story that is just almost unbelievable and totally crazy. But hey, thank you for listening. I got a lot more stories because my life has been a very exciting life, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a beautiful day, and don't forget, you are loved.